All right, let's talk about obviously, this huge expansion of gun rights, more than we've seen in a decade, having a direct effect on New York and New Jersey, and you see those governors responding.
It's so true about how this gun stuff is changing so rapidly. First, we have this Supreme Court case that says, "Hey, New York, you had this rule that you needed a particularized risk for safety to be able to have a gun. Now everyone by default could have concealed carry." So New York, as you said, and New Jersey passing their own laws to try and, I don't know, stop guns from going free for all, but coincide with this law. And the question moving forward is, are these restrictions going to be constitutional? Why? Because when you read the case, it really says you're only allowed to restrict guns to sensitive places. And they list them as polling places, legislative offices, courthouses. New York's basically said anywhere is probably going to be a sensitive place, except for maybe the sidewalk. And so we're going to see these cases going forward. And I'm going to tell you another one that says that you got to lock your gun in the car. But there was already a Supreme Court case that said you can't make them disassemble their gun because they need it for personal safety. I'm telling you, there's going to be more Supreme Court battles on this one.
And now, what about in New York, where it's the idea that a concealed carry is not welcome unless you have a sign on the door saying it is?
Yeah, interesting.
Which is like opposite of the South, right?
Well, I think everything in New York is opposite of the South. Let's start with that part.
Okay, fair.
But, I got to tell you, in New York right now, the rule is that there's a presumption that a gun's not allowed. It's not just a business on private property. That's a very broad statement, unless there's a notice that says, hey, you can have your gun here, or that the person with the gun otherwise had permission that they knew about. So again, that's a very restrictive rule, and we'll see what the Supreme Court thinks about it. But I want to put this out there, and this is important. Whereas the old New York law fell because it had one global rule, this particularized risk. This new law has a rule here, a rule here, a rule here, a rule here, a rule here. So I doubt the new law is going to fall flat. It's going to be different parts of it might get struck down over time.